That was the intro.
I love that. I love that. I think you should do one where you don't whisper too, just so you have options.
Welcome to a podcast with friends. This is Joshua, your host. We are here today with Nate Drop. Hey, say hello, Nate.
Woo! Hello.
That was great.
That was coffee.
Oh my God.
74 degrees. I love it.
I don't know how I feel about that actually.
What, the weather itself?
The weather being of the temperature that it is. I mean, a 30-degree change in just a few hours. I mean, I think I always question whether or not it's okay for the temperature to be this high in Houston. I'm always questioning. It's like, is this a global warming thing? Is this what they were talking about? Or is this just the state of Houston always?
I don't know. I feel like, honestly, no. When I was younger, it was colder more days.
Right.
But now our winters, at least in Houston, is just like, but it also just flip flops. She's just moody. She's global warming. She's like, oh, I'm hot today, or she's like, oh no, actually I'm cold. We're gonna be cold for a minute.
I believe
I've got chills.
I believe they identify as climate change these days. So we really got to respect those names. What are you doing down there?
Yeah.
This I gotta say, it's very cool.
Hydrated.
You gotta stay hydrated, please do. Oh my God, you have a whole jug. Can you put that in the camera for a second?
I'm dead.
This man,
I came stacked.
This
I've
man
got all kinds of
just
stuff in here.
went down for a moment to refill their water bottle and whipped out a whole jug.
A whole growler.
They have a growler for their water refills. I mean, that is impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, thank you.
I have one of those at home. I'm gonna start doing that.
I hate being out of water. It's the worst. Once you're like hardly thirsty, because I just keep a bottle with me. It's like you never want to be thirsty.
As a 28, pushing 29-year-old male, I am always thirsty. But
Hey,
that is actually kind of waning. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure at some point I'm not gonna need water at all. Just coffee.
Oh.
It'll be fine.
Right, it's the only thing that's keeping you up. Which I'm about to get into this coffee. I rarely drink coffee, so this should be great for me.
Honestly, walking in, I was very nervous about about what's happening / about to happen, or just happening. And I just noticed this kind of like sleepiness about me as I was walking closer and closer, and I was like, oh man, I should have had more coffee. Maybe I should have, like, I don't know. I don't have any performance enhancing drugs at home, so I'm just like, man, coffee's really it. Maybe I should just drink some water. Does not being hydrated enough make you sleepy?
I'm drinking water to help myself recover from another night ago.
Another night? Like, was this 2 nights ago? It sounds like a while ago.
We're recovering. And so the water really helps. I got out ahead of this and I did some shopping. Look here, I'm not telling the store because this is not a sponsored ad, but there's a store you can go to. Oh my God, I found so many cute things at Target. I'm like, oh, girl.
Okay, what'd you find?
I went with my another artist friend, Johnny Psycho, and we went over, and because he's always telling me, he's like, they got all kinds of wild stuff over there, like in the women's department. And so we went over in the women's department, and I mean, I'm seeing some Yeezy stuff in there. I'm seeing, like, it's not Yeezy, but you know what I mean? Like, look at this dress. Like,
oh, that's a dress? That's not a sweater?
Oh, I just in case it was cold in here, I brought it, but.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Wait, but I want one.
Oh, period.
That actually looks like the exact cut that I've been looking for like legitimately a man's dress.
Okay, look here now.
Okay.
Target.
You know, I've always known that Target is the place. Actually, and they knew that I knew too because they're the first company to give me a credit card.
Oh,
At
same,
my
same.
ripe
Yes.
age of 18, bad decision, but like that was also like
It's called building your credit.
it's called building your
It's called
credit,
building your
but
credit. They've got little wins in there, just stowed, just hidden,
all over
hidden
the
little
place.
gems in there.
But then when you get the red card, they just put them right in front. And and then you just see it all the time and you're like, "Oh, I guess I can get it."
What is it? 5% off?
Uh was it?
I
Was it
think. I think
5% off?
something.
It's
It's
some
something small. It's like
it's
2% or 5% off. It makes you think like, okay, yeah, let me use the
oh
card
yeah,
this time.
it's like that. You think it's the biggest sale ever just all the time. And you can just stack those
Didn't.
things. Um I think on the note of credit, that is a really funny thing. It's not building your credit if you don't know how to
Use it. Oh,
use it.
okay. Mm-hmm.
I am still recovering from the financial mess that I made in my early 20s. Just getting them credit cards, just because you start off kind of with a great credit score. As soon as you get that card, like you're not putting away enough to to not be able to pay it back, and so like your credit score just goes up and up and up and up and up and up, and you're just like, let me apply for another one. Let's increase the limit on this one, and then all of a sudden,
Mm.
well, you can't afford it all anymore, and then you start doing this revolving door of paying off the minimums, and then like using the minimums to eat, and like
Oh,
continue your spending habits that you
hello,
shouldn't
college.
have. Yeah, yeah. Um, it gets really bad if you move to a city with a high standard of living, uh,
Oh.
which unfortunately I made that choice. Actually, fortunately and
Yeah,
unfortunately,
no, I think, yeah, you should celebrate that choice. Like,
it was.
even for, to stay in New York for a time, like
Mhm.
that is, or anywhere different for a time, is to be exposed to different people, different environment. I think it does something for the brain to see like different
Oh,
spaces.
absolutely.
Like even when that's what a vacation kind of does for me. Like, oh, it's not. Oh, I've never seen that before. Oh, there's other worlds outside of this. It's just like it kind of helps open my mind again. Like, okay, okay, get out of my whatever space that I'm in that moment, which sounds really pretentious. Like, oh, I have to travel in order to feel myself.
I need to get away in order to get in.
But it does some type of reset for me. It's good.
What's your vacation spot?
I love a Marfa.
You
No,
love a
my,
Marfa.
I've only been one time, but honey, look, if you're saddled up for that 8-hour drive, and there's some really cute spaces, you get a small town vibe, but it's also like artsy, and you're still in Texas.
Interesting. I've not gotten over to Marfa. I've been told a lot that I need to go, and I remember
Road
seeing a
trip.
few years ago that there was like yes, totally down for a road trip. Actually, on that note, I remember seeing a few years ago there was like this flyer for a Solange concert in Marfa, and I was
Yes.
just like, oh, I should go there. Like, what? That sounds interesting. Plus, like, it's really funny. Like, it wasn't until a few years ago that I found out that little Prada building that's like in the desert in the middle of nowhere that's just outside of
Right.
Marfa, and
Uh-huh.
same thing with that little like Target porta potty looking thing. You know
Oh,
what
I
I'm
have
talking
not seen
about?
that.
It's like a very small structure. It literally looks like a small brick outhouse with the Target logo just on it. And it's the funniest thing to see because it's just like, I don't think that's an actual Target. I don't think there's things in there, but it definitely has that branding.
It's some quirky things out in Marfa. um, we stayed at El Cosmico, which is like this
What?
space. Yeah, they've got teepees you can stay in,
Oh,
yurts you can stay in.
what is a yurt?
A yurt, it's kind of like oh shit, like just a small little stayover home, I guess. I don't know what to call it, really. But it's very cutely decorated inside. We're talking about a rug. We're talking about a little bed there. Um, it's a cute vibe. And there's other art installations around the town, and I mean it's only like 7 restaurants to choose from. It's perfect. It's like you
Some
don't need all those options. Just Just eat.
Seven restaurants. That actually is very. That actually seems nice. I some at times get overwhelmed with the number of options almost everywhere that I'm at. I this past year moving into Montrose, there's just way more uh, options than out in the suburbs where you really just get your major chains and then some local chains.
Mm-hmm.
Gringos is like the fine Mexican cuisine of South Houston. It feels like. Uh, just having seven. That sounds amazing. But actually, someone also made mention to me once that Marfa is so small and there's such a small population that actually lives there and such a small amount of places to be employed that many people work a couple of jobs. And so end up seeing the barista work in the bar or work in the cocktail bar like down the road later at night. And you're just like, oh, it's like that one chick in Scott Pilgrim versus the World that just like works at
Yes.
all the places.
Oh my God, yes. You're like, what in the Schitt's Creek is going on here? It's great. It's,
Schitt's Creek. I tried to start that during quarantine, and that was a little moment. I never got to the finale of it.
it's all out there now. It was a long time that we weren't given season 6. I guess I should have paid for it. What have you? Whatever. I'm paying for Netflix, and they have finally posted it. It's great. Yeah, I would recommend finishing it if you like the vibe of the show. Which I mean, either you do or you don't. It's okay.
It's quirky, funny humor.
Quirky, funny. Yeah.
Eugene Levy is that his name? Eugene Levy. He's
Eugene.
very very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he was in a movie.
I love his son. Like that, his son is just in the industry also. Like,
Right, and they're working together.
hmm.
And I really, what is it, Dan? Is that
Dan
his
Levy.
name? I really wonder about his like self because this is the only show that I've ever seen him in, and so like naturally I just assume that he himself is just like that
I
character.
think it is. I watched there's a movie on Hulu. I can't remember what it's called. It came out recently, but it's a Christmas movie, and he's in it, and he's playing basically that character.
It's the same
And
way.
as much as I love Schitt's Creek, I'm very here for him just being that character in other shows and other movies. Like, it just makes me imagine like, oh, okay, so he went off to New York, and then he's also like got other friends that he's moving around. Like,
Don't
I'm
you
like, this story continues.
don't you just wish that like some actors could just be the one character and just do crossovers and everything? And just
Yeah.
pull all the movies together and like everyone's the same character constantly, like just like
I think some people will get tired of that, and that's okay. That they don't need to be the same person either. But there are some people that have nailed some characters for us, and we won't get. I don't know that we'll see an Ace Ventura again. I don't know that we'll see. Oh,
I
that's
think
okay.
Jim Carrey will want some more money at some point, and we'll do it.
That man's too woke for that now. He's in another space.
Too woke.
He's
he
in
did.
another
He
spa-
did Sonic the Hedgehog. Come on.
A bag is a bag is a bag is a
It's a
bag.
bag. Someone
He's
was,
like nothing really matters anymore. I'll be Robotnik.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, he's so woke he doesn't care. He'll do whatever.
But even when you're watching Robotnik, you're like, okay, this is his same quirky self. Like he's still Jim. It's still Jim. It's still Jim.
Still a Jim Carrey.
Even when they try and get away from their characters, like I'm really intrigued to start this new season of Fargo because I haven't seen any of the previous seasons. But to see Chris Rock playing like a more dramatic mobster character, like that intrigues me. Like to see him outside of his funny space.
I've never seen nor heard of Fargo, so I'm very. You need to walk me through that.
Okay, so Fargo on Hulu is am I a TV expert? What am I? No, on Hulu it's the other seasons. I guess the first 2 seasons centered around an Italian mob. Mind you, I've seen no episodes. I'm going based on what I've seen and an interview with Chris Rock on with Gail King on Good Morning America. Anyway, he's entering like a dramatic space. Like I guess he's like the head over the black mob in town. And
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, yes. Yes.
I'm sorry. Just
I know. But look at the trailer. Look at it. It's a vibe. I mean, it's a story I'd like to see.
okay. I can't see it. I think part of it is I've always had since I was a little kid this kind of like weird melding of both Chris Rock and Chris Tucker's character
Ooh,
in my head. I think I had like an issue like when I was like a small child
I hear
of
you.
like every Chris must be the same Chris. Last names, what are you talking about? And so they were always like stuck in my head. And I just recently watched Rush Hour, and a few weeks prior to watched The Fifth Element. And so like
Mm-hmm.
I'm also like throwing it like there's no way I could see Chris Tucker as
Oh,
in a
ooh.
serious character, and that's just like
Not in a leading role, but I could see him as a side mobster, like a little, yep,
oh yeah,
little goon on the side,
but
cameo moment,
definitely
very Busta Rhymes ish. The I don't. Yeah, I know what you mean. Once you've seen him in a space, it's kind of hard to kind of pull him out. But I'm such the type that once I love like one of your characters, maybe not one, but you got to nail it a couple times. But Chris Rock has nailed it like for me in some other spaces, and I'm like, okay, well I'm here for the ride, whatever. Jim Carrey, okay, I'm right along for the ride. Zendaya, okay, I'm along for the ride. Like you've delivered to me, and you delivered. Let's see what else.
yeah, Zendaya. Shit, that's another one because I've never actually seen anything of hers. I know she's in what is that HBO show?
Euphoria,
Euphoria.
yeah.
I hear great things about it. Some of my friends have been them for Halloween. Have been some of the characters of that for Halloween, and even still, I'm like, what is
So
this?
they just looked half drunk, half baked, half.
Um,
Just
I mean, well,
that's
that's my friend's normal look, quite frankly, or a state of existence rather. We never know on the face, but like that, but
yes.
we know
Hey, friend.
what's going on. They're going to be on the podcast soon, actually, as well. Now that I think about it. Also, like this is the first podcast. Thank you so much. We have Nate Drop here.
Cheers. Hey.
Uh, this is exciting.
And I'm happy to be here. I'm excited for this podcast journey for you. It's
There's
you're a great talker, a great communicator. So I'm
double Gemini, Sun, Moon, actually quadruple Gemini, Sun, Moon, Mercury, and
right.
Venus. Oof,
Like
that
mine's just hopping everywhere.
spells a lot of trouble for a lot of people except for me.
And okay.
I had someone read me for my chart the other day because they were they were asking about my tattoo, which they were like, "Are you a Pisces?" And I was like, "I'm technically just a Pisces rising. I just like this tattoo. Ooh, should I get that on the camera? This tattoo. I don't know if we can really make it out. Trying to speak into the mic and see it. It's two fishies.
Yes.
It's two
Mm-hmm.
fishies.
Oh, it looks great. I'm seeing it in person now for the first time.
Oh, thank you.
Come on, eyes. Those eyes are saying hello.
Right?
They're
Aren't they
there's
just like
that is fresh.
actually?
It's still healing.
Yeah, it's starting to actually pick up a little bit. I'm seeing it. Luckily, my friend is still somewhat new as a tattoo artist, so she offered free touch-ups because also I'm very much like I don't know if I can take care of this properly. She was telling me that the inside's
What?
going to be interesting because it'll be rubbing more than the
Oh yeah, right.
outside.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 days, well, 2 days after I went to jiu-jitsu practice, I didn't, I didn't spar, I didn't roll, but I did participate in drills. So I
Okay.
had the gi on, which I realized at that point that it is a very rough, thick material because I
Break
could
that
feel
down
it.
for me. Okay, the gi. What is that? Is that like the?
The gi is like
Am I
this.
picturing that? Like the
It's the
one piece
uniform.
thing,
It's not one piece.
the
It's
belt
definitely two
situation.
piece.
Okay, okay.
But yes, the belt situation. It's this very loose pant with a panel on the inside, so that like if you wanted to do full splits, you definitely could.
Okay.
Like because you need to be
Room
able
to
to
move.
move and
Right. You do.
stretch and do all that stuff, and then also
And kick.
we don't kick.
Oh.
Not in jujitsu.
Oh.
No, it's
Mm.
jujitsu is essentially grappling, wrestling. The idea is to choke someone out or move a limb in a position that, like, if you move it too far, you'll snap it off.
Ooh.
So you got to make them tap out. And that's
Okay.
called
Hey,
that's
tap
called
tap tap
tap
out.
tap.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
That is that is a submission. Anyway, you wear the gi because it kind of gives points in which you can grab onto someone, and also you can use it to choke someone. Like particularly the collar, or sometimes even like the tail of the robe part, the robe top. But they're made from a thick cotton, especially the top part, like because you are grabbing at it, so you don't want it to rip.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, okay. This is not fast fashion.
This is not fast fashion.
Okay.
This is quality material, and gis are expensive. Let me tell you that. Like they're 100 plus. For most of them, there's actually a brand that I wear now.
Just wearing them recreationally, like
I would love
in
to
the
wear
grocery store. Don't play with me. Don't start nothing.
Actually, you know, when I leave my apartment, I'm usually wearing the pants and just like a t-shirt, and I have the jacket. The gi top, if you will, with me. And my neighbor has made a comment to me a couple of weeks ago. He's like, "What were you wearing the other day? You look fly." And I'm just
Hey.
sitting here just like, "You mean my t-shirt and my gi pants?" Like, because they're
Yes,
they're kind of
Bruce Leroy.
poofy. Like, I'm like, they don't even have pockets, yo. Like, I don't know what you mean, but what
It's
was I
okay.
saying?
Throw a fanny pack on it. It's,
Apparently, I didn't need to. I was just looking good.
okay,
Like,
work.
it was working. But yeah, there's one brand called Albino and Preto. They're from Guam, and they're actually kind of known almost. They're kind of like the same as like a sneaker brand. Like all the sneakerheads would be really into this because they make these gis that are like non-traditional colors, which are
Okay.
actually traditional is just white, and then you got black, and then you got blue. So there's like the more traditional colors, right? But they make like purple and like salmon and like this off green gray color, and they've got all these patches. They did a
Okay.
partnership with Teenage Mutant Ninja
Oh,
Turtles.
okay.
They
That's
did
the team to do it
play.
with. Yep.
They had this one with there's some like bear stuffed bear brand, not Build-A-Bear, but like some other one, like
It
that
was a Care Bear situation. I like that.
it's very interesting because those go for hundreds of dollars, and it's like, and they have like exclusives, like you got to be a member if you want this one, like all this stuff. There's legitimately a Reddit and Wikipedia page about about this brand.
That's so
It's just
live.
like they're into it.
I see wild patterns. Oh my god. Okay, send me the link. Okay, maybe I'll just get one.
It's the patches. It's the patches. Really. But yeah, no, jiu-jitsu's been fun, but again, it's probably not the best thing for tattoo healing.
All the sweating and abrasion? No.
The sweating and abrasion, yeah, that's basically it. I didn't sweat. I didn't allow myself to sweat, and the abrasion, like I
Talk
was,
about self-control.
yeah, I I was literally also telling them like, don't grab this arm whatsoever, because I thought in my head I was like, we grab here at the arm all the time. And I was like, okay, if they don't grab that spot, it'll be fine. But then
It's like avoiding the left arm.
yeah, well, kind of. But then like we started doing some drills, and they like grabbed me by the wrist part of the top too, and that I felt way more than if like someone had just touched my arm. It's like,
Oh
okay,
wow.
we're not doing this. We're not doing this arm at all.
Yeah, that your triceps like sore after all of that. That's a big space on the arm.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, wasn't too bad until
She said dot work.
she, right. Yo, those needles were funny to look at. She had this one that was like, it was just 3, and that was basically what she used for the lines, and like the outline was all fine. The shading was all fine, but
Okay.
then she was just like, all right, so now I'm gonna go over the shading with some more lines, and I'm like,
What?
what?
Wait, where?
For detail.
What?
And like,
Okay.
I'm just like, oh,
Wow.
so you're gonna rub it raw and then go in? Oh, what was funny was actually the inside part hurt the least.
Okay, that's the space I'm avoiding. Like I just get them all on the outside.
It was barely. I mean, it was barely on the inside. I didn't feel it anywhere on this side, but like all over here, pain.
I really do. I'm okay with an outer arm. Like that's not so rough for me. But I just feel like this inner arm, I just know it's veiny. I know it's sensitive. I'm just rubbing right here, and I'm like, but then again, I just got something right here by the neck, and that wasn't so bad. But it was It was lines.
I think when they talk about the upper arm being like really sensitive, I think they're really talking about that armpit,
The inner arm
zone.
part, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like because I was asking her, it's like, do we want to move it up a little bit? And she was like, you don't. That's going to be on your armpit. You don't want armpit. I
Ooh,
was
baby.
like, oh, okay.
I like that placement. It's like really just above the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to get the other side.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fun. Birds on this side. Twin birds.
Same style.
Same style.
Okay.
Realism. I'm curious as to how this is gonna age.
It'll age fine. Yeah, it'll age just fine. But then again, I don't know. I don't think these tattoos age that poorly, unless you're just like doing a lot of sun exposure, maybe a lot of abrasion. I'm still not at the stage where I would get a hand tattoo, like a finger tattoo, because I just feel like that's not gonna last me.
Right. I mean, you can touch ups. I don't know.
I guess you can get touch ups. Yeah, right. Look here. I guess I was trying to spend my money when I needed it, like only when I needed to. Just not just touching up for fun.
Right. I really want hand tattoos, like really, really badly.
I mean, they look fly as hell. I love a good rose on the back of the palm. Ooh.
Can I tell you the only reason? Like, it's not really because I think they're aesthetically pleasing or anything. I just want to ruin my entire chance of ever working in an office building.
You said that.
I don't want to be able to.
He
I don't want to
said
give
that.
myself the option to take the easy way out.
Well, get a face tat while you're at it.
Well, no. I'm too pretty.
Yeah.
Not yet. I'm kidding. Actually, I know a couple of really, really, really handsome people with face tattoos.
I mean, I'm okay with like a little line, a little statement, maybe something. I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But then again, where I'm at now, I wasn't when I first started. So that's life.
My first tattoo is the ultimate coverable spot. It's on the top of my foot.
That's exactly.
Like, I just put on a shoe.
Small, just. He said, "Put on a shoe."
Put on a shoe. Put some socks on. Am I cold? No, not really. I'm just hiding my tattoos. Because I mean, I can't hide the thighs. Because those things are going to be exposed.
It's Houston.
It's Houston. In the summertime.
The sun.
What's your preference? Summer versus winter? Like, if you had
I don't know. Those outdoor workouts do hit different. Those summer and fall. Well, we don't really have fall, but I'm counting October, where it's like a little bit cool at night. At night, and maybe summer for me. I mean, somehow I've been dodging the heat. I don't know what I've been doing. Maybe I've been running to the car. Maybe it was my memory is lapsing, and I've just been inside due to quarantine. I don't know what it is, but I'll take it. I think it's also because like I will free whatever skin needs to be out if it's too hot. Like I'll be fine. Like I'll be in these streets.
The cold you just really can't get away from either, though.
But I do get to do a little stylish moment, okay? And you can't layer in the summer, so that I'm torn. I really am torn because the stylist me is like, ooh, I can put on this heavier item, I can layer up, I can give you a look. In the summer, I'm like, you're getting a tank top, maybe a crop top.
Yeah, but that's fashion too if you do it right.
It is.
I'm like, I gotta tell you, I have cut up some clothing and it looked great. I am also tiny. So that's helpful. Like, I feel for anyone that is size challenged, although tininess is a form of size challenge, I do believe. But it's helpful in the sense of like, I can wear nothing.
There's some,
and people aren't going to bat an eye. Actually, I will get a lot of twink comments, but whatever.
He says, I don't take your label. I put my own labels on me.
Actually, I was real happy this past summer. Quarantine thickened me up a little bit. Let me start that off. I think a lot of people experience this, but
feeling that too. Yeah.
For me, I was very, very happy about it because I've been ridiculed all my life for not being able to put on weight. Like Latin families, they will tell you if you're fat, they'll tell you if you're skinny, and like you're never not one of those. Wait, you're never
the savagery of it.
It's very funny, but
It's all love though.
Yeah.
It's all love though.
I think it's self-hate.
Woo, baby! I had a friend. She was like, "Oh yeah, I was at my family's house, and then my uncle walked in, and the first thing out of his mouth was, 'Oh, you got big.' Like, damn. Can I get a hello?
Right.
I haven't seen you. Hi.
Um,
Oh.
there's a Thai girl that I work with. She's that way, like very much that way. She says it all the time. First, like no filter whatsoever, and like it's so funny because she says everything with a smile. She's like, "Oh, that's why you fat. Look at you, like look at you eating all that pork right now. This, and you're." That's also the reason you can't get a boyfriend because you're fat. And I'm just like,
Damn.
oh,
Why you don't have
dang,
boyfriend?
girl. Dang, girl. Like, what is this? But she's
my
also the
gosh.
first one to tell you whenever she's had sex with her fiance, which is also extremely
Okay.
hilarious because you're just like, okay, great, get it.
Good morning.
But also, oh, okay, all right. And that's really just an introduction for me to start on my weekends.
Nah,
It's nice to
you're
have a
inspired.
friend. Like let's just get this conversation going. Yeah, back to the size thing. What was I going to say about size?
How it's working to your advantage and when you're dressing like a thought. And in to that accord, I will say it as a tall person, finding that right length on the crop top for me is a little tricky because if I do it too short, it's like a whole lot of stomach and a whole like some long ass arms or something going on. It's like I got to find the balance to give you that riff right in the middle. Just
I think that's the trick with all crop tops, especially man crop tops.
gay problems.
Because gay problems. Yo, I'm call it. I'm calling it. This next year is going to be a crop top revolution for males, both gay
Amen.
and straight.
Amen.
Absolutely. Like I'm already seeing it.
We love
Bad
to see
Bunny's
it.
going to bring it. I guarantee
Ooh.
you. Bad Bunny's going to be in
I love to
multiple
see it.
crop tops this summer.
Come on, Maluma.
You're gonna
Come
see
on,
it. Ooh,
Bad Bunny.
Maluma, yes, please, Maluma, get you a crop top. There's always something about that. I actually have a crop top that's kind of a crop top, but not really, because it crops literally just at the end, or just where the pant starts is where the crop ends. So it's like. If I lift my hands, you can see some skin,
That's
but
good.
no other time.
That's a good length, though.
It's
Ooh.
honestly perfect.
It's giving you a little movement right there above that.
little movement,
Ooh, and if
you
those
can
pants
see
are just like fitting right on the waist,
Which they
baby,
do.
ooh.
Shout
'em.
out to Hervé,
Eat.
Epto Clothing.
Hey.
Can we start doing some sponsors? Like, or like, if it's for free, do we still have to use hashtag ad? I don't think
Oh
so.
my god.
Actually,
And we're just talking. We're giving the girls wisdom. We're giving. Check out Epto Clothing.
check out that Epto. So I had sent you a text message earlier this morning as kind of an invitation to the podcast, outlining some themes. Did you understand any of what those meant?
Thank you for starting with good morning, first of all. I did that. I liked the topics. I did have to go look up prophylactic. I did. I had heard it. I had heard it in a rap. I hadn't looked it up. I was like, okay, I kind of know what that means. But
You've heard prophylactic in a rap? What rap is using prophylactic? I have to
Big
know.
Boy.
Big Boy by...
Oh no, Big Boy, like Andre 3000, Outkast, Big Boy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Mhm. Yeah, he would use some words like that. Yeah. Prophylactic.
You know, can we talk about Outkast and how incredible they are/were as proponents of the genre?
Yes.
Because the musicality of it all, like what the fuck?
They gave us that for sure. Gave us sounds that we needed to hear. We're still hearing and being like, okay, I don't. And then I love hearing new artists, especially ones that are like popping, like have sounds in there or flows that are like Andre or stuff like that. And I'm just like, yes, you better sing like yes. And I appreciate Andre so much for like also pushing like feminine clothing or quote unquote feminine clothing. The things that he would do, like I can see it now on Tyler the Creator. I can see it in artists that I love now. But oh god, I'm gonna get me a white wig. I just want that. I want that jumpsuit across all cultures. Brown people suffer most. Why? Just
I didn't. I wasn't exposed so much to Outkast when they were in their heyday. It wasn't until I had some really awesome musically inclined friends in my early 20s to be like, or I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine by the name of Nico. He was telling me that Frank Ocean was an awesome artist, and I was like, no way. And I spat at that mostly because the only time I'd ever heard him was at his Grammys performance. Did you ever see that Grammys performance in like, what was that, 2012, I want to say?
what's this thinking about you?
It was Forrest Gump,
Okay, no, I did not see that one.
and it was terrible.
Oh,
And I think he would. I know he has to admit that it was terrible. I don't know if the audio levels were off as they tend to be when you watch the Grammys like on screen versus like what must be there. I don't know if the audio levels were just like messed up because like it was this weird droning, like you can't hear him. It doesn't sound like he's trying. You've got these weird visuals of someone running on the stage, but like also what's happening. And
sometimes you do watch those performances and you're like, was this a last minute choice? Was someone else they call out and okay, and y'all just
there,
now got it together real quick. Okay, I understand. Hey, making it happen. Fill that time. Give us something. Better give us something because you're not giving the awards to the right people anyway. The
I just remember that,
I'm
was such
sorry.
a weird. That was such a weird moment. I feel bad about that because I think that it was also like Frank's biggest "I'm here" moment. Because I don't even remember what he was. He was probably up for Best New Artist or something like that for Channel Orange. Is it still Channel Orange then? And yeah, I remember just thinking this is garbage. I'm never listening to this human being
Damn, bro.
his music again. And then my friend Nico was like, "Oh, that's such a shame because listen to this," and he put on crack rock.
That's such a shame because listen to this.
I
Yes.
I remember we smoked out of a huge ass bubbler, so a bunch of weed, and he puts on crack rock, which gave some weird vibes. Not gonna lie, but like just smoking out of this pipe, and then all of a sudden you hear this amazing song that's just like I don't know, just so well put together from on all levels. Like you got the instrumentation, you've got the lyricism, you've got this percussive element of how he speaks and how he flows that
Yeah.
just like perfectly balance out just all the other instruments that he's clearly not playing. Or maybe
fine.
he is.
That's
like
fine. I don't care.
honestly don't know
I
the
don't
level
care.
of his musicianship. But it was that moment that completely brought me full circle to Outkast because I
Oh.
went home to listen to that whole album and then I heard what's the song Pink Matter and
Yes.
you have fucking Andre 3000 on that and just like spits spits it
Yes.
so easy. It's just like he's talking and it makes you think, man, I've been talking wrong this whole fucking time. And yeah,
Yes. That talking flow. He just speak on the mic. That's all he has to do. But Frank Ocean, yeah, to your point, he's so talented. The sonic choices he makes on the albums, the sounds, it's like who are you working with? Or how are you hearing these sounds in your head? Like that's you want to be pitched down here like you knew that? Or like what's happening? What you want to make a whole song where the whole intro is pitched up with overdrive? Like come on, Nike. Like I don't the man is talented.
Oh man, now you're making me think about Ivy. The song following Nikes, where like there's a clear delineation of like low register to mid to high to
Hmm.
extreme, and it's what
He's he's got a handle on sound. He's got a real good ear.
it makes me excited. It makes me excited when I hear an artist that also does stuff like that, like just starting to emerge, and like I get really excited when more and more of them kind of come out of the woodwork. I think this past year, uh, I introduced you to them, Gabriel Garcon Montano.
Yes, that album.
How did you like that, by the way?
I think I listened to it on the way home, so I got about halfway through. But it's definitely a vibe. It's like it's the variation of sounds for me too. Like he gave me a record I could pop to, and then he was also like, "Okay, well then let me sing to you. Let me give you instrumentation." I was like, "Oh, this is in depth." And when you see this album cover, I don't know why I expected any less. Like it's art on
Right.
the cover, it's gonna be art in the album. I was like,
And
okay,
that is
we're in for
totally.
the ride.
Wait, so you've only gone through half the album?
Ooh, come on. Yeah,
Oh
yep.
man, you need to pop that on.
You know what? I intended
The
to
second
finish
half.
it before I got here. That's on me. That's on me.
I'm. I think one of the big things that I'm impressed by is the fact that he is an artist of Spanish descent. Or I don't know about I can't say not Spanish as in Spain. I guess I should say Latin descent. I don't know where he's from, but he definitely speaks Spanish. He raps in Spanish. He sings in Spanish. But his English is also like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
which language came first for him, but totally solid. And it's kind of I haven't really seen it where I see an artist that excels both in their English and in their Spanish music and can pivot also from rapping to singing to the musicality part of it. And it's like almost like uh
There's a lot at play there. Like even to switch between like languages in general, it's kind of like using two different parts of your brain anyway.
the
So, and then I don't even know the research on rapping and singing, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, to do it so well without it feeling like it's two verses of English and then a Spanish bridge or a Spanish like uh, breakdown at the end. You know what I mean? Like it's
hmm
not just like a little peppering to say like, oh yeah, this is bilingual. It's like, no, I'm gonna give you like a full Spanish song that you can go bop to. I'm gonna merge these two in another record. Yeah, it's he's talented.
there's a song on there. Do you know what mira means
Yeah.
in Spanish?
Look, yeah.
There's a song called Mira My Look. Look at my look.
Look at my-
Look at my look.
Yeah.
And it just has that totally great and awesome interplay. Also like the bass is really cool and like
Also to have the attitude and swag to pull that off, like that
straight
line, because some people could say that line and it doesn't land. But
straight up,
hmm
straight up. Back to the themes. Ethnic soups for the soul.
I saw you say "Oops" for this soul. I'm like, okay. Um, I I don't really know what that means, but I do love a good soup. I will say that I would gladly go for a soup after this. And the uh, when I was younger, since we're talking ethnic soups, I'll just name a soup my mom made. She would put some cabbage in there. You know, we'd take what we had, whatever was in the freezer. Maybe it was some okra, maybe it was some mixed veggies. We throw that in the pot. Ooh, some chicken with some onion. Ooh. Garlic. You got to put the garlic in there because that's the
Always.
healing. It's in there.
It's in the garlic.
And what else? Some cayenne pepper. Just let that hit the back of your throat. It's gonna work with that phlegm off.
I
It's
was gonna
gonna
say, it is,
that voice is gonna be clear.
we're gonna burn this out of you, like whatever it is.
Don't go ham.
That's what cayenne was for me. That was a kick, just like poof.
I love even when I'm preparing like to get on a mic. I love a good like a lemon tea
Yeah,
with honey and a little bit of cayenne pepper on top. Like,
I've not done that. I've done hot water, lemon, honey, but I've not done cayenne pepper. That sounds like the ticket.
she's gonna wake you up.
Oops. Why am I drinking coffee? What is this nonsense?
Well, some things just aren't so readily available. We live in a society that says you need coffee readily available.
Well, my coffee is not even readily available. I did have coffee this morning.
He said I waited at the Starbucks. Stop it.
I did not wait at the Starbucks.
joking.
I fully made a Chemex, which is a whole 6-minute process. It is a ritual. It is great. But I've moved away from that in the last few weeks. Actually, it's kind of sad. Not super sad, but I really like to walk in the mornings.
That sounds healthy.
It's I believe it is healthy. I think it's good for you.
That's one of my things I like saying. Is sometimes I hear something that just makes good sense, and I'll just be like, that sounds healthy.
That sounds healthy. Yeah.
Reinforce, yeah.
And I specifically walked to a coffee shop on Westheimer, Fix Coffee Shop. Shout out, plug. I walk 15 minutes to get there, and of course 15 minutes to get home. I walk there only because it's like a destination and I can go. Because I also want coffee in the mornings as well anyway. So like it's becoming like kind of an unsustainable habit, I'm noticing. 'Cause I'm just like, I go in, it's anywhere from $3 to $6 for my beverage, depending on my mood for the day. Like sometimes I'll get espresso, sometimes get an Americano, sometimes I'll get a spiced pecan oat milk latte.
Okay.
Hint.
She said hint. Does that give you, because I feel like for me that would give me a bit of the New York vibe, because that's one of the things I appreciate about that city, that you would get up, go walk, and go maybe grab something that you want. I mean, maybe you should just like make your own coffee and walk around. But
Well, see, that's what
to make it more sustainable. But as someone who lived in New York, does that do something for you, do you think?
Not for me, but that's mostly because when I moved out of my mom's place at 18, I started doing just that anyway. The first place I lived was in actually the dorms at U of H.
Oh yeah.
And I would wake up and I would walk across campus to Einstein's Bagels. And then at some point I lived in Midtown, and I would do the same thing there was a Starbucks, and there were pho and banh mi places all over all around, and so I'd go for that. Like I'd go out for walks. I would walk everywhere that was within walking distance, because that's also how you get a view for the city or the space that you live in. If you just drive, you miss everything. So I mean, yes, it kind of reminds me of New York, because there's a necessity in the fact that you have to walk to get to something, but less so for me personally, just because I was doing it anyway.
All right. He said I lived there. I'm above it now.
I'm so not. I can't wait to move back. But I think I've made mention of this before. I did tell myself if and when I move back, I will have to have money.
That sounds. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the best way.
At some point I remember like a year or two ago, I was saying like I'll do it in my late 30s. But now I'm looking at more like maybe like 50s, in my 50s.
Okay.
Just because, it's expensive to live there, and living on my own without any roommates this past year, I no longer have the desire to have roommates, unless it's
that
like
freedom will do something for you.
I'm like considering there's a gorgeous building across the street from where I live now it looks like it has tons of sunlight, and I really kind of want to move in there, but it is a 2-bedroom, and I'm considering it only because I know part of the floor plan is that the 2 bedrooms are on opposite sides of the apartment.
Some space.
There's some space, and yeah. So,
yeah, I think that'd be the way to go.
I know people in New York that are making 6 figures and still have to have roommates.
It's not the life for me. I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to say it that way, but I don't. Life is more fun the more spaced out. I'm trying to play it smart. I don't want to. I mean, could I be running myself into the dirt and maybe thriving even more? But at this point, it's like I'm making it. There's a pandemic going on. Like, I'll plan out those next few steps a little bit later. I'm just gonna do what I can.
Oh, that brings me to actually another of the themes for today: prophecies, an eventual reality, or a time to use a prophylactic.
So, can you break that question down for me? Because it kind of reminds me of the idea that are things just happening by chance, or is that what you're saying? Or
A little bit, a little bit. When we think of prophecy, what do you think of when you think of a prophecy?
something foretold. So it's something that we're expecting to happen. Yeah. So
Yeah, exactly it. Whether or not we are like consciously manifesting, or whether or not it's something that the media is saying that is going to happen, or something that our friends are saying that is going to happen. Like, for instance, I was speaking with someone in late October, just before the election, and they were saying, I don't think he's going to leave, referring to Trump.
oh my
They're
god.
like, I don't think he's going to leave. And in my head, this is naive me beforehand, just like, what? That's ridiculous. He's not, the election's going to happen. He's going to lose. And, or actually, at that time, I thought he was fully going to win. I was just like, mostly because of our political cycle is
Yeah.
typically like
That's the
presidents
case. Yeah.
happen
Uh-huh.
2 terms. That's what we do. And so like I was thinking that, and then they were saying that he was going to lose, and I'm like, even if he loses, he's just going to give up, and he's going to feel defeated, and he's going to shut up and go away. And they were right. And I had
Right.
no idea that this was going to be the case, that he was going to be like, it's a lie. I won. Count the votes again. Where are the votes, Georgia? Like all of all of this stuff.
All I
And
need is 11,760.
stupid. And yeah, it's just really funny to see. And yeah, like when we say these things of like this is going to happen, is it like something that's unavoidable, or is it something that we should try to prepare for? And this can even be in the positive things, right? So like our personal manifestations, like I keep saying that the things that I want to do in the future, as far as like development community, getting into real estate and stuff, like I've said before, I'm going to be a millionaire. And sometimes people are like, he's a little cocky, isn't he? And in my head, I'm just like, it's just going to be a natural byproduct of the things that I want to do.
He said that.
Oh, well, no one
No, that's
expressed
good.
it.
No, that's no. I like. I we prefer that attitude, right? I mean, it's no point in us really being down on ourselves or saying that we're not going to make it. I mean, unless you're just not doing shit, in which case then maybe you won't make it, bitch. But you know what? If you're striving, if you're working hard, if you're putting like your best foot forward, like then fuck it. Say that yeah, I'm gonna win. Like I'm gonna get what I want out of this. And I think I believe in manifestation because I mean there's power behind intention. Like the things that I intend to do, the things that I pour energy into, they carry some weight. I think in the realm that we live in, and people can feel that. They can run from. I mean, not run from, but they can run with energy that you give. And I think your life is just the same. So this idea of prophecy, it's the oddest thing because it's kind of both. Like maybe it all is meant. Like maybe it's happening because and you feel that way. You feel like it's supposed to happen because it's arranged that way. At the same time, I'm one of those people that sees both sides, like Chanel, and the. And I feel like I'm also like I understand. I watched this Chris Rock special recently. Here we go. We're bringing in characters, the same characters. We're circling back. Chris Rock is like, so you're telling me that the whole universe is like actualized, like intentional, like God did not make any mistakes. He's like, have you seen? He named some animal. I'm gonna say the platypus. Like, have you seen the platypus? Like, she's a work of mystery. We don't. How did that happen? She's an amalgamation of things. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, the platypus, it has like a poison barb, just like in its heel or something. Like they can kill you. It's a duck otter.
It's a duck.
it can kill you.
But also why? Like,
But why?
So maybe some things are. I laugh because I kind of meditated over this question last night because it took me on a ride because I'm what some would call a recovering Christian. So I'm always like, in the space I'm living in, evaluating how do I see God now? Like, what am I seeing in the space now? Like, did he make accidents? Like, was that part of the book where he's like, oh, look, I did some wild stuff back then. Like, that was a different me. I don't like that person. Can we just kind of start over? Let's, it's all fine.
Bro, I was on a lot of drugs back then. Like, it was only day number 3, and like, I like that. Or well,
day number 3. Okay, what happened? What happened by day 3? You had some epiphanies or something?
No, I'm talking about God in the
my
first
God.
7 days. It was day number 3.
No.
I was day number 3 of the binge, is what they don't tell you.
Not psychedelics.
He was on some psychedelics.
No.
How else do you explain the platypus if not for the drugs?
He's day 7. He said, I need to step away from the desk. I need to.
Day 1, he said, "Let there be light," and he sparked up a joint. That's what that was.
No. Oh my God.
I have to say that this has been a very nice time. We are in a rented studio, and we have like no more time. I don't know if they're gonna come in and knock on the door and be like, "Hey, get out," or if they're just gonna like let us chill for a second or not. So I do want to.
It has been such a good vibe. I knew it would be when you asked me to do this podcast. I know, I could shoot the shit with you anytime, and maybe people might laugh at it. It's great.
People might.
Fine,
We
yeah, I
laughed,
loved
we
it.
laughed,
I had the time.
Should we give any like last minute shout outs? Shout out to you. Stream this single Cornbread, available on Spotify and tell me out everywhere.
All the streaming platforms.
All the streaming platforms.
Yeah, you can check me out. I'm on. I have found that for me, it's best to manage one social media account so that way I don't get caught up and lose my life. So you can find me on Instagram at NateDrop. You can find any of my music on streaming platforms, and yeah, excited to be putting out some more stuff in 2021.
Yeah, 2021. It's that year for it's that year for the manifestations. We took a year to just sit there and be quiet in our like alone space.
We've been figuring out what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.